Good Sunday football morning. Thank you for waking up with the pregame to the pregame. This is the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk. I'm Shawn Xavier, along with my co-host, the storyteller, Earl, Eric. Welcome, guys. And of course, if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. And we are definitely streaming live on our YouTube channel, also Twitch TV, Hot Seat Podcast, as well as our Facebook Live channel. Good morning, folks. Good morning, gentlemen. How we feeling, man?
Feeling like I lost like 9 bets over the last couple of days.
that bad. I mean, hopefully it wasn't any substantial amount of.
Man, they $2 a pop, man.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, how was it though? Was there any technical lag or anything like that, or was it pretty easy as far as getting your bets placed and whatnot?
I think some of the sites have probably been getting like more volume, obviously, with the whole Maryland now coming online. So a couple of things. It even put a message up on one of the sites when you were logging in saying that it's a delay in the login 2-step process. Just, please wait a few seconds after clicking. So I'm guessing it's probably because of the high volume of people all of a sudden in the state that's now activated with everybody else.
Gotcha. Fair enough. How about you, Dave?
I'm great. That's all. I'm great.
If you guys have been under a rock, if you're in Maryland, you jump right into it, man. Because I know Earl's already been on this. He's been up in Jersey. Online sports betting, man. Finally in Maryland, this popped off. How funny is this? It popped off launched the day before Thanksgiving, if I'm correct. Just in time for the Thanksgiving games and everything else in between, man. So now, of course, if you guys already know, you've always been able to do sports betting, but you had to actually go to one of the casinos, whether it was MGM, Live, one of those guys. But now you can officially do it from the online sports app, whether you're using FanDuel, DraftKings, and there's a bunch of other ones as well that I'm not even familiar with as well. So with them starting on Wednesday.
Can we touch on what you just said real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, it has come live on Wednesday of this week as far as betting. And I have to give it up to my man Earl because, just like everybody else, I was opening up every single platform that was out there and stuff like that. Nothing touches FanDuel.
Thank you.
Nothing comes, and I'm talking about even close. Nothing comes close to the format and the layout of FanDuel. DraftKings was cool, but it kind of held me back a little bit on some of the things I was trying to do. BetMGM was just totally confusing to me.
It's very confusing. Very confusing.
I got money sitting in there now that I'm just going to withdraw out and just shut the whole joint down. I'm serious. It was that. I'll give you an example of why.
I got $8 sitting in there. I'm just going to leave it there until I spend that $8.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you why it was weird to me. I just throw a quick deposit of $10 in there. It tells you, like, if you place a bet, I want to say for $5 or $10, you get $200 for your first time, blah, blah, blah. But then I go to place one of my regular bets, like a single game parlay, and then it's not letting me do it for anything less than $50. So then I go and check, and I was like, okay, it shows minimum of $1.
No, you have to put that $50 bet in. Like,
see?
You have to.
So I'm sitting there and I was like, so wait a minute. So you telling me I can't do like my $5 bet or something on here? It was so, and there's probably a way to do it.
But see, I did a $2 bet. Like I said, I put 10 in there and I still got $8 left because I did a $2 bet on betting.
Was it on a single game parlay? Or was it just a straight bet?
I'm gonna look at my ticket real quick and tell you.
And you can't build more than on BetMGM or whatever that is. You can't make a leg bigger than I think 10. I want to say. See, FanDuel, you can go all the way up to 25. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the whole thing was so weird to me, Earl. Like I'm sitting there and I just got so frustrated. I was like, you know what? Forget it. This was the other thing about BetMGM. Whatever they had on their location breakdown was, I go and I put in my $10, Tell me why the first thing that it opened up on was Washington, D.C. So I got $10 stuck in BetMGM Washington, D.C., even though I wasn't in D.C. So now I got $10
instead of BetMGM Maryland.
Right. So now I got 10 over there. I got another 20 in BetMGM Maryland. I was like, this thing, nah, I'm good.
So like the card I opened up, I had it was a parlay with 9 picks on it for $2. And it was all on basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird, bro.
That's what I said.
My total odds was like plus 5,094. So it was like a $2 bet that would have got me like a couple $100. But like I said, I only hit like half of the picks.
Yeah, I just didn't like the layout. FanDuel was just so far above.
Just to piggyback, like FanDuel is great because like even too like how you can build the parlays, you can combine parlays differently. You can't do that on DraftKings.
Oh, DraftKings is hard.
DraftKings is hard. But that's why I said, like I was telling Eric, I said, yo, when we do our little weekly jump, if I went on that, I just make like whatever parlays they have. You know what I'm saying? And then they hope for the best. Or
because they're already set and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I just hope.
I don't like that.
Yeah, or I just take my money out of there. But that one on MGM, I think I got like $5 left in there, and I got a free $5. I'm gonna just play that today. If I win,
what's messed up is, especially here in Maryland, when everything opened up, man. You want to talk about promotion? It just pops up. DraftKings.
Yeah.
So you jump on there, and for the amateur that really doesn't know all the different things, they're sitting up there and they're like, okay, well, this is what I got.
Right.
But if you can find your way to FanDuel, especially when you're betting your own money.
Yep.
You want to have full control of what you're doing. And FanDuel, it's an easy layout. Oh. It's as soon as you're pressing on stuff, it's simultaneous. Like some of the stuff I was pressing on, like BetMGM, it will take 5 to 10 seconds to come. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I'm ready to start using my FanDuel. I was going to start using it yesterday, but I was trying to wait on Earl, who didn't respond back to me yesterday.
Well, no,
I not to do a bet yet.
No, I told you don't bet. I said bet.
I know that's why I haven't bet on it yet. I hit you up yesterday. You ain't hit me back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I bet yesterday.
Yeah, bet today. You gonna bet? They have a promotion.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
They got a promotion where you bet $5 and you just pick the money line on like the certain game that they have. You only got to pick one. You know what I'm saying? You just got to pick who gonna win. And it's on the football game today. It's for new users. It's for your first bet with FanDuel. Other than that, if you made a bet, you can't do it.
I haven't made one yet.
Okay.
Cool. I haven't used my FanDuel in a minute since I was down in VA at the time. So I am familiar with the layout. I will say that the FanDuel sports betting is a lot more cleaner than what it is at DraftKings. DraftKings is good at what we do as far as the fantasy football stuff. But when it comes to the sports betting, what I've seen so far, and I think I did this, I think that FanDuel bet, I think it might've been last season when I did it. It was clean, made a few dollars and, was going for that, but I hadn't done it then because of course we're in Maryland. Of course, as we say this, anybody who's listening, watching, what gets me, make sure that you do bet responsibly, man. Of course, there's pitfalls to gambling of all types.
Don't bet your mortgage on it.
Yeah, really don't do it.
Don't bet anything that you're not willing to lose.
Right, absolutely. There's a benefits to the side as well. So if you guys didn't know already, so 15% of all of the sports betting of all the institutions there, they actually supposed to pay that out to the state of Maryland, which they use the bulk of that money, air quotes, bulk of that money for different educational programs. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, this came live. I think it was 2020 is when the betting started, right during the pandemic. So that was fun. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. We're not turning it to Vegas or anything, but at the same time, I hope to see some improvements with this action and everything else around Maryland as well. They're doing a good job of keeping up with all the bigger states, man. I know for a while you still got Virginia, still got their they can do betting, but they don't really have a casino. So it's kind of weird out there as well. So yeah, man.
They'll get one at the
yeah, true. True, man. So of course, man, so Dave kind of led into it though. So we can tie in both together, man. So our college football recap this weekend. Let the chaos begin. Let the chaos begin. And it was like that on Saturday. It's a story.
Yes,
You had your moment. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Just go ahead and jump right on into it, man.
Guessing y'all won, huh?
I ain't gonna say much, They are who we thought they were. Nah, man. I mean, I'm just happy, man. I'm excited because to be completely honest, did not see the game going that way. If you didn't see the game, it was basically Michigan bringing it all game long and Ohio State showing up for one half. That was really what it was. Ohio State showed up for the first half. Michigan showed up for the whole game. Our quarterback just knew his whole future was pretty much on the line as far as how he was going to be elevated or how he was going to be downgraded in the look of not only just college, but the NFL and stuff like that through this game, because that's what we had, especially that first half. If you didn't know, Corum, our star running back, got hurt the game beforehand. Mm-hmm. Corum is excellent. He was up for the Heisman race. I want to say he was in. Dude? Yep, he was in third place, as they were saying, for the Heisman, and he got hurt last week, and it threw me off because he got hurt, and Harbaugh tried to throw him back in the game. Right. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, right, and I'm looking. I was like, bro, like this is not where we need to even try that at. Like the Ohio State is coming up, so then we start the game. And I think he carried the ball 2 times, and you could just tell he did not have his pop. Mm-hmm. And he walked off that field, and I was like, oh, my God, we are in trouble. Because if you know anything about Michigan football, especially under Harbaugh, we're all about the run game. I want to say 80% of the time, we are about the run game. That's what causes our passing game. So to see that our biggest star running back was out, to know that our backup running back has an injury on his hand, so it's hard for him to carry the ball. And then our running back behind him, I believe, was out. So I'm sitting back and I was like, what are we going to do? I was like, our quarterback's going to have to run, throw, everything else like that. And honestly, like I said, for us, it was a whole game type of thing. He came out with a very good game plan, throwing the ball. We were able to pretty much match whatever they had going on as far as scoring and the big throws. The big plays what saved us in the first half. In the second half, honestly, we just wore them out. It just seemed like, no disrespect to who's their coach, Day. That was the difference between him and Urban Meyer. Like, Urban Meyer was a master of going into that locker room and changing the game to whatever was going on. And Day tried to come with this same game plan that I guess he was coming in with this man-to-man type thing, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working in the first half, so why would you do the same thing in the second half? It impressed me very much. That win yesterday, to me, was even more impressive than the win that we had last year, because a lot of people still weren't giving us props for certain things that happened last year, because they said a big part of it was the weather and things like that, which weather did play a part. Yeah. No, there was no excuses this time.
Played to win the game
at all. Yep. That's where I'm at.
Good stuff, man. I said it several, probably a few weeks ago, that I thought that it was actually right after the Michigan State fiasco with the whole thing that happened with the players in the tunnel. And I was saying how the response was from Jim Harbaugh and stuff like that. And I thought then, just from looking at everybody, the way Alabama hadn't really been the regular Alabama, Georgia had been like the outlier, but you hear a lot about them. But everything was lining up for this to potentially be the best year for Michigan to go all the way with it. Yes, they still gotta, you still gotta make it through the CFP, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be a lock-in, whether they win their league championship or not. Get in, but at the end of the day, this looks like potentially the best year for them to actually pull it off. In what year? This is year 9 for Harbaugh, I think it is. 8 or 9. He's been that long. He's been Jim Harbaugh, I feel like he's been here for these years and went through. It's been a long time since he was in San Fran.
I said, ain't he like 2-9 against Ohio State, something like that?
Maybe.
Yeah,
that put him like a year, like 11.
Shit, yeah, damn, it's really been that long. Damn,
he's like 2 and something, like 2-8 or 2-9. So it's definitely.
Or maybe it's no. I think it's 3 and something, Eric. To be honest, I think this is his third win against them, if I'm correct.
No, I think it's only his second.
No, but yeah, I don't remember.
I think it's only his second. I'm telling you, I think he's like 2 and.
Yeah, because he didn't beat Urban Meyer.
Right.
Okay.
And then he didn't beat Day the first year that Day was there.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 2-7, 2-8, 2-9, something like that.
Huh. I thought it was okay. I could be wrong. I don't know what I was looking at something. I saw it come up real quick, and maybe, and of course I can't. Of course, when I try to look at it and see if they have it, David find it at some point.
Yeah, I'll find it. Go ahead though.
Yeah, so we're looking at right now 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he may not be.
No, they said I believe if I'm looking at this correct. Was it only 2015?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. All right. Fair enough. But anyway,
I'm seeing 2015 and
right.
1, 2, 3, 4. The first 5 he lost, and then the last 2 years he won.
Okay.
All right. So he only played him 7 times?
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. What
yeah, because I'm looking at it. Only go. At least this only goes back to.
I think you're looking at the same thing I was looking at as well.
Here's a look at the history of the games between the two teams since Harbaugh took over, and it starts at 2015.
All right then. Okay. You got that. Well, he's getting that. I don't know if it's a shift in the dynamic, but they definitely you put together back-to-back good years of beating Ohio State, which Dave always said is all about that game, the Ohio State game.
That's what it's all about.
This is definitely has bought him several more years in Michigan if he chooses to continue that route.
He can do whatever he wants, bro.
Right, and then if he puts the icing on the cake and they hoist up that national championship trophy, he's a made man for real. So besides the game itself,
yeah.
I
was looking at the thing about that. I was just thinking myself like, you know what? Yeah, I guess he couldn't have been there 10 years because he did play he was a coach against the Ravens when we played the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
I
don't know why he seemed like he'd been there for so long.
You had to throw that Ravens comment in there. You see what I'm saying? I see what you're doing.
I'm just saying
the blackout bowl.
I'm just saying, had to find a landmark. It's like, you know what? He was still in the NFL 10 years ago.
All of a sudden, lights go out.
10 years ago when we won the Super Bowl, Harbaugh was there on the other sideline when the lights went out.
True. I remember that. That.
You know what? Yeah, he couldn't have been over at Michigan at that time.
That's a crazy game. So with that going down, I mean, this wasn't besides it being surprising the way it went, that wasn't, to me at least, wasn't the surprising game of the weekend. But let's go right into it. But there was a few more this weekend that hasn't really turned the actual potential CFP on his head, but it makes you question who's going to be there outside of the two known, on top of that. So you got Georgia will be there, still number 1. Michigan will be there as well. And then now you're looking at TCU, number 4 TCU, who is still undefeated. And at one point you did have LSU in there, but they lost to Texas A&M. And USC.
I bet on that happening. I hit that one.
Or for the A&M game?
Damn, Oregon. How you lose a lead when you 31-17? Damn, it blew my card up.
You had it as a parlay.
Yeah, it was a parlay, man.
I was like, oh, you should be happy.
Man, no, man. How you lose at 31-17 in the fourth quarter, man?
See, everybody, you're going to hear a lot more betting talk and screaming than normal every single week.
Right. So right now, the projected college football playoff, you're looking like you got right now, things could change. One could change.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I do have to go back to the Michigan game real quickly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michigan, for winning me $400 yesterday.
I won't go say nothing because I didn't know if you wanted to put it out there. I'll skip right over that.
And I read it wrong. I thought it was only 200. It was 400. And this is the thing. I did it as a live bet. And if I would have pressed it 3 seconds earlier, I would have won 600.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wait, so when did you jump in on it?
Wait. You cashed out earlier before?
This was a lot. This was a live bet. So I went in during the game. This is around halftime. And I bet
because your eyes was higher. That's okay.
Because y'all was behind at the time.
So right when I was about to press it, it was 600 for the payout. And as I'm going through it and putting in how much I want to wager, so that's what happened. So all I did was throw my whole free bet stuff towards it on FanDuel. I just said, hey, let it ride.
I like live bets, but the only problem with that, you got to watch it though.
Oh yeah, I mean you definitely got to watch it, but I'll tell you, my live bet, it wasn't even for Michigan. I just knew what Michigan was going to give up. So I actually bet on Stroud throwing for over 300 yards and for one of their receivers to get over, I want to say it was 85, and Stroud threw for like 340 something, and the receiver got like 125. So I was like, my peoples. Always looking at and it would have even been bigger because I almost bet the spread for Michigan's favor. So that would have been that really would have capped it off.
As you can see, the football
Shawn,
talk.
You questioning me, Shawn, when I kept talking about this 325 that they keep throwing in my face today. I'm telling you, I don't know, but it's disrespectful, but it keeps saying that this man going to throw for 325.
I don't know. Hey, look, Vegas be knowing, man. And look, now you can see the football talk is going to be a whole different shift to football talk.
We're going to have pros by any means.
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. But wait,
go ahead, my bad. Go back to the rankings.
No, you based off it. So right now, the potential college football playoff, you're looking at Georgia going up against USC, and then you got Michigan going up against TCU as of right now. But that could change based off of the weird selection committee, how they do. So I think Georgia and Michigan's will be a lock. TCU should be there as well. That fourth spot is where it's going to be. If USC wins the Pac-12, they went out, they'll be in. But if they don't, then you're already starting to see Nick Saban and I forgot the other coach out there, kind of like they already campaigning for why they should be in the CFP. I don't see that. I mean, do you guys think this is going to be our first four, or do you think you see something weird this year and they're going to throw a team in that, for all intents and purposes, may not be worthy of it, i.e. a Alabama type, because they bring ratings at the end of the day. What y'all think?
I think where Ohio State really hurt themselves was the end of that game. Because I always said if that game was real close, it's going to be very hard to take the loser and say that they don't deserve to be in that fourth spot over somebody else that has one loss when you just lost between the 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But with that spread, 45-23, it's tough. It's very tough to just throw them in there. I mean, me personally, I don't want to see them again, but but that's my own biasness.
So I don't think the score is actually the thing that hurts, or the spread was the thing that actually hurt Ohio State in that game personally. Like I think because some people sit there and say they got into panic mode when they got to like that 4 minute and under part, so they were doing uncharacteristic things where they were just trying to force it down the field to score. So some people sit there and say maybe on a neutral field, but my thing is it ain't the score or the spread that hurt them. It's the fact that you was home and that happened. I think if that happened in Michigan, it doesn't be that big of a favor because you sit there and say hostile environment, and all the other factors that played in. But being at a home environment, you got to sit there and say, well, if you couldn't do it at home, could you really do it on a neutral field? So I think it's more so that's the hurting factor, not necessarily the score. Like I said, the score part to me was the kind of game you wanted to see it to be until the last 4 minutes when Ohio State just pretty much started panicking.
We were in prevent though. That's what's crazy. We were in the defense that I hate, and It
wasn't even really about y'all. Like the offensive touchdowns that y'all scored. Like, I mean, you had those 2 touchdowns where the running back was just almost pretty much not even touched, like neither time when he just took off, and it was just kind of like wow, like
Yeah. Shout out to Edwin. He had 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22 carries.
Yeah. I mean, one would probably argue that probably wouldn't happen again. But once again, like I said, them being home and it happened, I think hits harder than sitting there saying, well, on a neutral field, what could happen.
So who would you throw in that 4th spot?
You know what?
I do think the top 3 is done.
Honestly, I don't think the top 3 is done.
Okay.
Because I'm not really feeling TCU beating Kansas State, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think if Kansas State comes out there, because that boy, they got their quarterback, he been balling. Like ever since he left Nebraska and got to Kansas State, he been balling. Okay. I think that I think Kansas State is set to upset TCU next week in the championship game, and that's going to knock TCU out of it. So I don't think the top 3 is set. I think the only thing that's really set is Georgia and Michigan right now. I think TCU might not even make it. But they definitely don't make it if they lose to Kansas State, obviously. And
that's the question right there, because if that's what Ohio State is banking on. If they get, that would be the chaos of it all.
Oh yeah, if that happened, Ohio State's in
back in. Yeah,
to me,
especially if you end up having something to where if USC falls, and then you have.
I don't think USC is going to fall.
But who would be the other? Who's going to be the other one?
So now that's when it's going to get interesting. Let's say you
have. Me, I'm seeing Georgia. Michigan, USC, and then, like I said, I'm not banking TCU. I'm putting USC over top of TCU. So I'm putting TCU out, and that's where the question becomes whether it's Alabama or whether it's Ohio State that takes that 4th spot, in my opinion.
Now, what if you get both of those? Even though USC should win, they should. But stranger things have happened.
Right. Look, Georgia could lose to LSU. But it's not going to knock them out the playoffs.
It's not, though. That's definitely not. So they're a lock. Michigan's a lock. But if you have both TCU and USC lose, Ohio State is going to be back in there. And then that's when you start looking at Alabama. And then after that, you got who?
You put Alabama and
USC. If TCU loses, then hold on.
You're going to take a 2-loss Alabama over a 1-loss TCU. And if USC drops the second game and has 2 losses, you're going to take a 2-loss Alabama over a 2-loss USC.
Yep. Got you.
That is true.
I got you. But I'm saying with both of those, who's the other team, though? If you get both of those teams losing.
Well, you already said it. You said Georgia, Michigan in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State gets knocked back up if both of those teams lose, and then Alabama's going to take the spot of the other team.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, if Alabama still finds a way to get in the freaking playoffs, I swear, man. Like, you know what? The thing that hurt us this year, and that's why we had to win this game more than just a rivalry game. Our schedule was crap. Harbaugh, wake up to that. Our schedule was crap. So there was no strength in schedule. So if we didn't beat Ohio State, we wouldn't be in the same conversation that Ohio State is in from losing, because they had a much stronger strength of schedule. So, yeah, that's important too.
It's going to be interesting. They're going to be watching these. There's going to be a lot of people watching these games and be like, hey, let's get it going. But that'll be – I still think overall, with all this being said, the stars are aligning for your Wolverines. It's definitely aligning. We're going to see.
Hey, man, another thing you could throw in there, I don't know if it was a topic already. Doesn't this change that Heisman talk?
Yeah.
I believe this dramatically changes the Heisman talk. I don't think you could throw old boy in there as the front runner.
You
definitely can't. Yep, you can't throw our running back in there because he's injured.
Yep.
You know.
Look, the Heisman talk is that boy at USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I was going towards. Like, it definitely changes the whole dynamic. I'm trying to look for his stats real quick. Anybody got him?
I don't have it in front of me.
With Caleb Williams, right? Okay. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Let me see.
Let's see. Real quick.
But he okay, I got it. He was 18 of 22, 232 yards and 1 touchdown. I know he ran for a touchdown too, didn't he?
Yeah, look, did you see any of that game? Did you see the run that he did?
Yeah. Oh, when he was. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was
when he ran like 80 something.
That was Lamar-ish right there,
forth.
son. That was straight Lamar-ish. The only difference was he ran out of gas in the 2 quarter from behind. Lamar would have scored on that one.
On the year, Caleb Williams, 3,700 yards passing, 65% completion. Might as well call it 66 because 65.8. 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah. And just like in the NFL, there are certain teams when they're playing well, it makes it better for the entire league. When USC is in the conversation for being, for the national championship, and then you combine them with the notoriety of Alabama, even your Michigan, Georgia. I don't know if Georgia still gets that. They don't have that same shine to everybody else. So you get potentially a Georgia, Michigan, USC, and Alabama playoff. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. And then Can
we go back to talking about the Heisman? Like, you got let's give credit, before we even sit there and give it to Caleb Williams, even though he probably is going to be the runaway Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Let's give credit to Lincoln Riley. You
Man.
got some people who can recruit, and you got some people that can coach, and then you got people that can do both, that can recruit and coach. Let's just look at what this man has done in his short time that he's had between Oklahoma and now USC. If this boy Caleb wins the Heisman, that'll be 3 of the last 6 Heisman Trophy winners that would have been his quarterbacks that he recruited and brought into his school. That would have been 3 of the last 6. 2 from Oklahoma with Murray and Baker, and then with Williams, who he brought to Oklahoma. And then when he got the job at USC, took him with him to USC.
Does this mean, though, side note, that they shouldn't draft him?
I'm about to say
because those people you just mentioned.
Whoa. He also had Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
You got to say those names.
He put Jalen Hurts in the conversation. Jalen Hurts finished what? What did he finish? Second, didn't he? In the Heisman that year? Yeah. So he put Jalen Hurts in the conversation. Jalen.
So if Caleb Williams doesn't win the Heisman, then you should draft him.
Right.
Kyler Murray's on his second contract. I mean, we can talk about how bad Baker's doing, but Kyler Murray's on his second contract.
He is.
So he's got quarterbacks that are making it to their second contract. So it's a hit or miss. But I'm just talking about him in general, knowing the talent level. Because look, even Spencer Rattler, he brought him into Oklahoma, even though he eventually lost his job to Williams and then transferred. Look at what Spencer Rattler has done the last 2 weeks in South Carolina by knocking out Tennessee and Clemson. I mean, that's yet another Lincoln Riley protege. I mean, the man knows quarterbacks. So, I mean, we at least college quarterbacks. The man knows, he sees talent. So it's just about, he does what he's supposed to do on the college level with these guys. When they get to the pro level, that's on whoever gets them after that.
Now that all that being said, what team, because it always happens, what NFL team comes knocking on Lincoln Riley's door?
Everybody. Everybody with an opening.
Look, who's the going to be like the number 1 overall?
Girl, I think pull your phone down.
Well, right now Carolina. It doesn't have a coach.
Yeah,
I think they're the only one right now that doesn't have a coach.
And they're paying him. They're non-coaching having self. They're paying him what, $40 million that they still owe.
I'm sorry, Colts don't have a coach either.
Matt Root, yeah, true. But they got Jeff Saturday, so I don't know.
Hey, what you talking about?
I'm just saying,
Saturday out there, Shawn.
I'm just saying. 2 teams we know for a fact that have to look in the offseason for coaches. I mean, even if they choose to keep Jeff Saturday, they still got to open it up.
True.
Let me tell you something. In a regular week throughout this regular season, I would have easily placed that bet against Indianapolis Colts. I can't do that as easily right now, and that's fact. I really can't. I was like, oh no, I ain't messing with that.
Speaking of coaching, let's go into it, man. So if you guys haven't already seen,
change the whole game. Man.
We're talking about coaching, man. We're gonna get there to it. So we'll say this: there's nothing that I've seen from Deion that says that he's leaving Jackson State. But as we said it before, his success that he's having in Jackson State has garnered the attention of the big boys, if you want to call them that. So far, I've seen Colorado has offered him a job. I've seen him attached to UCF as well. And then I'm not going to quote any of the as it being true, but some of the sources, some of his quote unquote team. Yeah. His team, they said there is some interest. you know, from his camp, whatever that means. But how I only have a what do you guys think, man? Is this a good move potentially for him leaving Jackson State, man, and going to a you know, one of the you saying something, Earl, but I can't hear you. Or him, you know, continue doing what he's doing. Unmute yourself. I can't hear you. I'm not getting nothing right now.
Earl, if you hear us.
Right. He ain't talking. He ain't saying nothing.
I wasn't. Yeah. Nah, but Eric, the only one picked up. Nah, but I don't think he's going nowhere. I think people is going to continuously offer him a job. You know, they want him. I mean, he'd be silly to leave. Like, I really feel like the question I would have to ask, is it really about money? Because see, here's the thing. He can have there's nothing he can do wrong at JSU. Okay. Like he can be there as long as he wants. Like they're gonna name a stadium after him after when it's all said and done. You know, this is a fact. Some building or some kind of athletic center somewhere they're gonna name after Deion. Okay. He go to Colorado, he go to any of these other places. I mean, you're just another big name, you know, coach, but you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Guess what? You out of there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So my thing is like, I hope he doesn't leave, and I really don't feel like he is. I just think like it just comes with the territory, because I feel like he came here for a reason, and I think he's trying to build something. You know, so I don't think he's leaving. I just think it's just fluff.
Okay. What
I don't. Oh.
No, go ahead.
And honestly, I'm sorry. He damn sure ain't leaving until his sons graduate. I tell you that. That he's not going nowhere. Why? He got 2 sons there. He ain't going nowhere.
But see, that's where I was going with it. I don't believe he's leaving now. That being a big purpose of it. But if somebody like a Florida State was to come to him and be like, "Hey, open arms, we want you here," that'd be tough. That'd be really tough to go back and not reestablish that university to its greatness. So I don't know.
That being said, I think that may be the only place right now that could actually pull him, you know, after doing like a year or 2 at Jackson. I think only Florida State could do. But Florida State seems to be content right now with who they got.
Right. Dude, if I was Jackson State,
ain't gonna go to Colorado?
Right. Right.
I don't see that one.
No. Yeah.
Now come on now.
Yeah. What I
there, we do what you meant.
Yeah. If I was Jackson State, I would maybe they are already. I would automatically come out with something, say, hey, you know, we got our coach locked up for the next whatever amount of years. Because you're gonna see more of these stories come out.
I don't think Jackson State can really come out and say that, because Jackson State ain't one of these places that can sit there and say we just gave him, you know, 10 years, $100 million contract.
Nah,
the whole SWAC is gonna have to come together and say we don't want this man to leave.
True. Well, I mean, of course, they're gonna have to do their due diligence, man. Whether it's, hey, we need some outside boosters, we need to talk to a lot of people to make sure we lock them up, because this is my point. Yeah, Florida State will probably be the one school that could woo him away from Jackson State, especially after his sons graduate. But
his daughter go there too.
Yeah, I would hate to see it, man. I would hate to see it, because, and this is just my thought behind it. We see the amount of attention that Jackson State and Deion are bringing to HBCUs, and I'm just gonna be a cynic. Whenever you have, it's always. What does that mean? It's always like,
you don't know what that means.
When you see one of us, they are establishing some that and greatness. And so what says like the next school happened? Let's say if Eddie George has a similar type of success, maybe next year or something like that. Then you have another coach behind that. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prominent coaches that are now getting that attention to their schools. I feel like that, and then now they're pulling away top recruiting classes away for some of the big boys. That's not something that I see that those schools will want. So to counter that is, okay, let's get Dion, somebody out of that realm. That way you don't have to start seeing a rise of all those recruits going to HBCUs. And I personally believe that on that side of the NCAA, that's not something that they want to see. You see what I mean? It's like, if you can call it a divide and conquer, you call it one, but that's just the way I see it. That's why I said I feel like Jackson State get ahead of this and be like, hey, he's not going nowhere. You know, we got him during this time, because the jobs are going to come. They're going to continue to come.
I think from a pride standpoint, I don't think Dion wants to even start thinking about leaving until he gets that championship. I think he wants that FCS championship.
Yeah,
because it came so close to him getting the last year.
Right.
And now this year being in the position to go back again and to make a run for it to get there. I don't think he's even thinking to himself of even wanting to leave without that hardware.
Yeah, and I also feel like he got things to prove. Like I think his end goal is not just to beat, because I mean he's showing you like HBCU wise, like come on, like they're a different level in which for the teams that they're playing.
Right.
I think he's trying to get to those mid-major schools and I ain't gonna lie, maybe an end goal is like them Power 5 schools that say, hey, you know what, we could compete with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what
where people are fighting to have them on
right,
the schedule.
Right. And I think what that's gonna do, because I think for him, like his song says, who is SWAC?
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, that's the bigger initiative for him, because I feel like he wants to bring more notice to HBCUs. And I think if they are able to do that and compete, you know what I'm saying, with those mid majors and those, those Power 5s, that's when I feel like he's like, all right, you know what, I did my job. But he also got to understand.
Can he be the next Appalachian State, or can he be the next James Madison that moves from FCS to FBS?
Right. So I think he got some things that he's trying to accomplish. And let me tell you something. If he does that, every HBCU, just like in damn near every black household, they got especially after 2008, got a picture of Obama and the family. Like that's one of their family in their house. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need to put
a picture of Dion.
They need to get a shrine, like a statue. UMES need to have one right by the Heights. Like everybody needs to bow down to this brother.
He's such a showman too, that he knows he's going to get way more publicity right now and opportunities to be seen nationwide at an HBCU right now at Jackson than he would be right now at a bigger school. Because like I said, if he was just at a bigger school at Colorado, since that's the one we stuck on, nobody's going to do that. He's not on 60 Minutes. They're not interviewing him because, like you're saying, he's just another coach. You're just another coach coaching the team. You better hope that you got a winning season, because if you don't win, you get fired. But you doing what you're doing at HBCU, they're coming to you. Like, he's not reaching out to them. These places are coming to him, doing these documentaries and wanting to put him on TV for him to shine. And then, when you got other coaches being idiots and coming out their mouth sideways at them, that even brings more attention at that point. When you sitting there talking about people who not SWAC, and he's like, wait a minute, if I ain't SWAC, then who's SWAC?
I believe JSU right now could beat Miami.
I'm in agreement with that.
You know what I'm saying? I will put money on that.
With that.
I'll put money on that game.
I'm in agreement with that.
I don't know why we feel like we need to take a shot, at the time.
It's not a shot. It's just a fact. I'm just saying. I just think that their talent level, I think that they can beat Miami.
I'm in agreement with it.
I'm not going to deny that at all.
Okay.
I know my team.
Hey, I hear you.
So bad. So yeah. Dion, stay in Jackson State, play Miami, make these guys right, I guess. No. So yeah, man. So of course it was a good college football weekend overall. It's gonna be interesting to see how the bowl game shake out and everything else in between. But of course, all these guys potentially want to make their name, whether they get into the combine or whatnot, to actually get over to the big leagues itself, though. So let's go ahead and talk about our Thanksgiving games, man. More like our Thursday recap. What you guys take away from the Thanksgiving Day games?
I took away that these Thanksgiving games were better than the normal Thursday game, which
True.
to an extent, that's some bull. Because it ain't even like the date changed. Like literally, we have Thursday games all season long, and they be like ass, to reference what Earl says about Miami and Washington, but then you get to Thanksgiving, and then all of a sudden they playing like it's a normal Sunday.
You know why? Because I think it's the matchup. The whole season, you put trash matchup.
Yeah,
and then you get to Thanksgiving. Now you're gonna put the NFC rivals, and honestly, and I don't know if y'all saw the stats on that. That was the highest watched NFL game,
and the one before that was a Giants game.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, man.
So
let's go to the one
who's
game.
America's team?
Right.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Let's talk about that first game though. That first game and I know there's some. He hasn't said anything yet. That first game with Detroit and Buffalo.
That probably actually was the best game of the night.
Yeah, it was.
It was, man. It was. And
I don't think anybody thought going into the season that was actually going to be a game looked at as being good. I think because Buffalo coming in as one of these teams that was already assumed and asserted to be the top AFC team, and a lock to play Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl, and then Detroit pretty much guaranteed to be a bottom feeder looking for like the first or second pick in the draft. And then all honesty, Detroit should have won that game.
I was waiting for him to come in. There you go. Right in time. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I know this might be jumping the gun. Y'all may not agree with me. First of all, Detroit's some fighters. Their record doesn't indicate how good of a team they are.
Right.
Like they have nothing to lose. That's a scary team to play. The other thing is,
Parcells said your record is who you are.
Well, then they're trash. But then, then the other thing is, then if I had to go for coach of the year, it's a lot of like coaches that I would put. Like, I mean, Dable was up there. I would, I hate to say it, Mike McCartney. But honestly, who I would give it to, I would give it to Dan Campbell, Even though his record doesn't indicate it, that team, everybody, that's not an easy win for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can lose, and they've showed everybody. I mean, those games came down to the wires. I don't think Detroit got blown out this whole season.
Here's the thing with that though. What qualifies you as being coach of the year? Because
I don't know, but since Dan Campbell been there, he's got to have the most heartbreaking losses of any coach in the last 2 years. If you just look at the way he's lost these games in 2 years.
But now is that, and see what Gary says there. Yeah, that's the part. Coach of the year, keyword coaching. Those games that they're losing, man. A lot of those, it ain't talent. It's some decisions that are being made, and it's costing them games at times. So can you go with coach of the year? I mean, I see what you're saying.
But it's okay. But okay, you can make that argument, but you also got to understand too, like them players, they playing for somebody. You know what I'm saying? They fighting
Jacksonville's playing for somebody, but you
ain't Jacksonville don't
coach of the year.
Jacksonville don't got that same, like it's two teams, honestly, that I could say like you really see like they ready to die for their coach. Like they will run to the brick wall. And I say one of them is Dan Campbell and the other one is Dable. Like it's a culture.
I don't think
coach. But if I had to pick between, if you had to pick between the two,
I'm saying that I'm talking about the two right now that I can really think that it's been a noticeable culture shift. I can't think of nobody else who is just like, you know what I'm saying, that but I mean Shawn McVay, he another one, but he's always been like that. I'm just talking about just this year. Like I feel like those are the people, those are the coaches that I really feel like, motherfuckers, they commit a crime for them. Like they
If when you put Dan Campbell and your coach Daboll in the conversation, that's Daboll all day. Because here's the thing, that team
only because of the record.
No, not because of the record. No, that team.
It's because of the record.
It's the record.
It's definitely because.
But
if you switch their records around, then you be giving a nod to Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Now the only other thing I will say, which I still could put Dable up there, is because what they are doing with nothing. Like they had, well, let me not say nothing. They got a defense, but they ain't got no offense. They got Saquon, and Daniel Jones does what he's supposed to do. But other than that, he ain't got nobody to throw to. We
got
working
that.
with practice players.
A lot of that team, they brought some pieces in New York, but that's
no, they didn't.
I mean, some not no names.
No, they
brought
didn't.
in a couple of people.
We brought in people that just signed into the NFL.
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
They were on their couch.
The point is that not mainly the same team from last year outside of them to get rid of the receivers? Actually, it's lesser than the last year. And look at what they have.
I mean, the majority is from they put a couple of different, like Jahad Ward new.
Yeah, and the coaching aspect. You remember, they were at the beginning of the year, Daniel Jones was not going. I think Dave said it best. Hey, I'm ready to get rid of Daniel Jones, and he still may feel the same.
We all feel that. Nah, I'm good with him now.
But that's the coaching piece.
I'm fine with them going.
So it's
I'm cool with him.
I mean, here's the thing with that though. If Dan Campbell gets a chance to run it back again next season, because you see what happens in Detroit, man. They have they have those guys, that potential type of good coach, and then they kind of run him out the building. So
if Detroit is smart, they should weather the storm with him.
Detroit ain't been smart in decades, though.
Well, that's true.
That part right there. Because the offense scores, but then the defense gives up leads, or they make some weird time management situation. Like watching that game, I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? I literally blinked, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought Detroit had this game, and all of a sudden Buffalo was there.
Now, they got some people to build them. And Golf, listen, you say what you want about Golf. Golf been playing. That might have been the best situation for him to leave
the Rams.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, he has since he's been balling since he's been with Detroit. Like you said, it's not for fault of the offense of why Detroit's not winning.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
Right.
Shout out to Hutch. Go ahead though.
Yeah, he a beast.
Yeah, he is. He is. Wow.
He a beast. He remind me one of them white boys.
It's like that.
But the thing with Detroit, they gotta get more. They gotta get more like him.
They do
on that defensive side.
Build that side out. Now on the other side with Buffalo, everybody's been high on Buffalo all season, but Buffalo's showing those cracks, man. That I mean, they all got put. They put them ahead of Kansas City. We kind of early. We kind of early to that. Was that
Buffalo just look hurt. They look kind of like deflated in a sense, because I want to say ever since they lost. Sure. Yeah, sure. Ever since they lost to who was it? Who did they lose to before the Jets?
Who did who lose to? Buffalo?
It was Miami. The Miami game. It was that Miami.
Yeah,
game.
I want to say ever since that Miami game, and that one went down to that one was crazy. Like I felt like it felt like a little bit of steam has been let out of them.
I think that Jets loss.
That Jets one really put.
And Von Miller's hurt.
Yeah, that too.
Well, he got hurt this last game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you still got a quarterback that is still injured.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's playing through it.
I'm agreeing with it. Like Buffalo was supposed to be, like I said, the overall favorite going into this season, and they just haven't played as if they've been that overall favorite in the AFC going through. Because I mean, like I said, they've had the hard game against Miami that they lost. They lost to the Jets. They played the hard game against Baltimore that they won.
Yeah,
they just played a hard game against Detroit.
Yeah,
I mean, Buffalo has not had it the way that people envision Buffalo doing, like not the way they did the first game of the season. Like, they came out first game of the season firing like on all cylinders, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, for sure, this is definitely the team that everybody's raving about." And my thing was, you just straight up disrespected who probably really is the best team in the AFC. Which surprisingly is not my Ravens, but is actually the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. I mean, I ain't a fool. I mean, I'm definitely, I'm going to push my team to the Super Bowl. Don't get it twisted. But, I mean, the clear-cut favorite in the AFC right now, as far as from a talent standpoint, is Kansas City. That's just no debating about it. I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes, and Mahomes is probably going to win the MVP again.
Does this remind you of the Chicago Bulls years when they were clearly, because you still had that guy in that 23 was clearly the best team, but there was those years where they were picking Utah over them, specifically Utah, Even though one of those years, one of the years I think Karl Malone won that MVP that year. So it was a lot of disrespect given to Chicago. Right. And it was like, I feel the same way about Buffalo. Like after that playoff game, everybody was like,
gave it to him.
You can take it.
Karl Malone was up there in age. He had been in the league for like 15 years. He's like,
we gotta give this thing to somebody different than Jordan.
Yeah, and I think that's how they feel about Kansas City.
I can honestly say, that when my team got the MVP trophy to Barkley, that was well deserved and earned. That wasn't a give me. He earned his that year.
I got you.
So we ain't gonna go into that.
That's why he don't talk to him now. But keep going.
I think so. What you it's more likely, probably. He's like, you son of a. Like you took that trophy from me. He earned that trophy from me. That's like probably the only person that outright just earned that trophy.
Yeah. Now you good, man. Like I said, we're gonna see. I think Kansas. But I picked in our early picks for the Super Bowl. I picked Buffalo because I just thought Buffalo overall had more on the offensive side than what like Kansas City had, because I thought that Tyreek Hill thing would be a big miss for Kansas City, and they still winning just in spite of not having him. But Buffalo injuries alone, if anything, could be their doom, man, to be honest. Any given Sunday, they say, or in this case, Saturday, whoever they end up playing.
Man, don't give them that crush by saying injuries. Everybody gets injured. Freaking
maybe they're
missing
a receiver
every week.
That too. So we that coaching thing is a big deal, man. That second game, I know the Earl and Dave was all over this, even though the way it ended.
Let's just go to them.
No, I got it, but I think the picks.
I think deep down,
I'm with Dave. Let's just go to the next.
Yeah, I'll say this and then we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I think me and Dave talked about this. Even though I said the Giants was going to win, deep down I knew the Giants was going to lose. They have more. They're a better team. Now I was happy with how they played in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They actually played with some fight and grit and things in that nature. I also felt like we couple calls or some BS, but it is what it is. But the second half we came out flat. I think once Saquon, when they tried to hit him in the flat and he missed that one.
That 4th and 1.
Yeah, that took all of the steam out. Yeah. And we were done. So, but again, like I said, I don't expect. We had Richie James, bro. Like that's our number 2. Like who that is?
What position he play?
Exactly.
That's the guy that fumbled the ball. We expect that cost us game.
2 fumbles. That cost
2 fumbles in the Yep.
I love
on punt returns or kick returns.
What's my?
Oh, I thought they cut that dude already.
No, he had a concussion.
They had to keep. They had to keep
because he got nobody. He got quote unquote injured on that second. Yeah, on that second fumble on that. Thing
but after he came out of that, we have nobody else.
I honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I thought that dude was already cut from the team.
Nah. That's how bad it is. How deep they're going in the bag. Like they don't know.
I mean, we had a door. That's how Dory got hurt.
Yes,
because they put a Dory back there, and he got hurt doing that because we don't have nobody.
And all that, and they still 7-4.
Yeah,
like that's it's been a massive coaching job.
And and Andrew Thomas got to meet Micah Parsons. Keep going.
Yes.
That he even said it after the game. He was like, "Yeah."
The closeout game of the night. The game you watched.
And when he just saw him right there, how he came around that corner on him twice.
That first look, that first step is killer. Me and my brother were looking at it, and he was like, "Jeez,
And why we didn't sign? Why we didn't draft him?
I ain't going back to that. Let's just give it
that third game of the night, man. The game you watched after you had your second plate, and you may not be paying attention. You had the Vikings and the Pats.
No, I just fell asleep on it. I had diabetes by then. I was there for the first 2 quarters, and after that, it took me out. I was done.
Does this? I guess, and Eric, you can answer this because I think does this count as a prime time game? Because
Yes.
Yeah.
Does
it count?
does.
Okay.
Yes, it
I
does.
was
money making cousins. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, I didn't know if it did. I was watching that. I feel like if this game was the main game, usually it's like that second game is the main game.
He like 3 and 11 or 3 and 12 in prime time now.
I feel like they would have lost that game if they had played in the 4 o'clock spot. That would be all eyes on you. I mean, people still watching the night game. I'm not gonna not say that, but
no, actually, I mean, according to Kirk Cousins' stats, he had a higher chance of losing it at the time that they played. He had a higher chance of winning in the 4 o'clock spot, and he had a higher chance of winning. He played the first game.
True.
So the later it gets in the day, the less Kirk Cousins has a chance of winning.
Maybe he can't see at night. People can't drive at night. Maybe he just can't see at night when he's playing. I don't know what happens with him. What are they at the end of the day? Just a quick take. What are the Vikings?
A playoff team. That's it.
Okay.
A team that should have handed it off again to Dalvin Cook so he could score a touchdown.
Yo, son, don't go there. Don't go there. That's the one thing I didn't have on my parlay card. Is the fact
that's the one thing I didn't have on one of mine.
All I needed was him to score a touchdown. It didn't matter how he scored it. It could have been running. It could have been catching. He could have fucking threw a touchdown. It didn't matter how he scored.
Welcome to Bet.
I just need him to score.
Hot Seat Podcast presents football talk.
It cost $150, man.
Oh man. Speaking of costing you a bit, and it's costing them nothing in this case, and do we really care? So let's go right into it. One stream to the next. Do we really care? So right after the Thanksgiving game, after the Dallas Cowboy Giants game, you had the one and only Jerry Jones. He was having his post game conference, and of course they was having a conversation about the actual picture that came up with him at the
We really gotta talk about this.
No, we do. And that's why I guess, do we really care about the fact that we saw Jerry Jones at the age of 14, 13, whatever the hell he was, at a desegregation situation down in Little Rock, Arkansas?
And what was any of us doing when Jerry Jones was 14?
Yeah.
None of us were even alive. Are we really going to talk about this?
No, I mean, no. You have that moment and get your take from it. Because, and this goes to everything else we talk about, whether it's here or on the other pod. And you'll get off this. What's the power of that tool, which is media and stuff like that, to dredge up things just for the sake of media. What?
Man, this came from your boy. This ain't come from me. Let's call it what it is. This came from your boy.
I would doubt it.
Your boy sat there and said he got something on everybody. This came from your boy.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't doubt it. Shout out to Kaleo, man. Yep, we already know what Jerry been saying. We already know. It showed up, man. I don't think it's a lot gonna come of it, but they try to make a lot around it. Even had so much so that they were going in on one Stephen A. and him. I guess if you're gonna call him defending Jerry, yada yada yada. But
at the end of the day, how many millionaires, how many black millionaires has Jerry Jones made? Out of his pocket from owning the Cowboys and funding. How many black athletes has he put out there and turned into millionaires?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on.
Got a few. All right, just got there.
I could say for me personally, I don't care. Not so much for the reasons for anybody that said anything now, for the specific reason of look at yourself and see what you were doing in your when you were 13, 14, whatever age. Trust me, there's certain things I couldn't do now if you went back to that time period and you nitpicked on what I was doing, if you get what I mean.
Right.
So when a lot of people are throwing out these things, kind of look back at yourself and go, hey, if everybody pulled the sheets back, and showed off all my stuff from that time period at whatever age.
This is just the first piece.
Won't be too great.
This is the first piece to fall coming from Shawn's boy. He's just the first one.
He's going to throw out a lot.
It's going to be more. It's going to come out. This is just the first one that came. Because think about it.
And if you don't know who we're talking about Snyder.
Dan Snyder, yes.
There was no need to say anything about Jerry at this stage. I mean, Jerry's closer to
who dropped the pictures?
Huh?
Oh, we're over 90% sure that Snyder.
Man. He's just the first one that is coming out on. It's going to start trickling down and coming out on more owners.
Right. Yeah. They're funny, and that's why I want to get your take, because I'm like, man, if you got like stuff you got to go hard in the paint with stuff, man. Like really come out with something that's like, ooh, that there was like a really. That's why. That's why you get bullied, son.
Here's the thing. It's like when you say, "Do we really care?" I mean, I care for the fact that, like, I mean, I hope this opens certain people's eyes. But the real question is, do we think anything is going to change or happen? No.
Are you shocked by anything that you saw?
Absolutely not.
Right. Who eyes are you trying to open?
Some of these players.
Do you think the players on his team don't know who he is?
Right. Yes and no. But I
think they're going to stop playing for him?
Right, exactly. Do you think those same players are going to sit there and say, I don't want to be a Cowboy anymore?
But I don't think they care, and that's the problem.
Okay, do you think the next big if your boy OG, if Odell goes there after hearing or seeing these pictures and stuff, you think that's going to change his mind on whether he chooses Cowboys or not?
It might.
Hell no.
Here's the thing, though.
Hell no.
I'm gonna say why we don't really care. Because, you know, people like kind of gloss over this, and there's a lot of those fans when they were formerly the Washington Redskins. You know, the Washington Redskins was the last team in the league to integrate. They were the last one. Mm-hmm. And the reason why that there are so many, oddly enough, Cowboys fans, especially in the Black community, is because a lot of the players who played for the Cowboys back then look like them. The Washington Redskins back, you know, even they show those championships when they had back pre-1960 or something like that. It's all white players. So naturally, we went to a team, you know, they were going to a team that was actually Cowboys. It wasn't until like the 70s, 80s when you started getting the Art Monks and those type, the Fun Bunch and along those lines.
But that wasn't, trust and believe, that wasn't because we really want to change the movement. It was really because just like all these white schools or PWIs and these white coaches at these PWI, they knew they needed Negroes. Players. Yeah, they need the Negroes to win. Exactly. That's what it boiled down to. They were just a little bit smarter and said, "Oh no, these Negroes."
They weren't doing those civil rights. They wanted to win.
Nah, they were trying to win. Trying to win games.
Right. So I mean, like to you guys' point, they haven't said I've been looking trying to see if anything correlates to, but we're pretty certain, just like we're certain about those emails that they're coming from one source.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's funny that y'all said that, but that it's not shocking, and that makes a lot of sense. I think the biggest thing with this, you know, obviously I know nothing is going to change and stuff like that. I'm just, if this doesn't just show people that are not naive, that it's different strokes for different folks, bro. Because clearly you have this situation, and then you have Kyrie's situation, and you see the hoopla and the uproar that was made from that Kyrie situation, and this situation with Jerry Jones. It's okay. No sensitivity training for him. No nothing. Nobody's holding him accountable. No, he's good. He's good. He's good.
I mean, look, it's a rabbit hole at the end of the day. Look up the original Rooney who owned the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we can have a conversation. No, they don't. They don't care. They don't care. Not at all. No one cares. All right, man. Of course, we appreciate you guys watching and listening to the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk, which we now talk about betting as well. So it's become a whole different type of show at that point, man. Before we get to our picks,
get like a betting sponsor, like FanDuel or something. Like,
we need more people to come watch us, and then we can.
As long as it's not BetMGM.
Hold on now, just in case.
I mean, if they come calling, I mean, right. We got to remove Dave. You know,
I'm good with that.
They said
y'all do that. Y'all do that.
Oh man. So last thing, man, before we go into our picks, man, stats versus eye test. This is something that we debate about a lot because we see what we see on the field, and always a person, hey, look at the stat. It's you see it on any football talk show or sports talk show itself. They always throw stats to validate a person's particular position or their ranking or rating and so forth and so on. So if you guys already saw that one Zach Wilson has been benched in favor of none other than Mike White. I don't know how long this is going to be. But after that game where the Jets literally put up what 3 points, I think that game, the offense looked like yikes.
He threw 77 yards, bro.
Yeah, in that
77 in the NFL as a professional.
Right. But
2 total yards in the second half.
Right. Two. Yeah, 2.
But and had the audacity to say he ain't let the defense down. He ain't let it. What?
He said it prophetically too.
Right.
You let him know.
But a statistician somewhere will tell you that Zach Wilson is 5-2 as a starting quarterback.
No,
the New York
defense.
Jets.
The defense.
The team.
Right.
Let me tell you something. While we talking about it.
Right.
You know how many games he threw under 200 yards, bro? Like I'm talking about like 150.
Yeah.
Like he had several games where he threw one. He's trash, bro. Like honestly, the defense, and if you think about it, his wide receiver core is dope. How many yards they got? Corey Davis has been a blip. Corey Davis hasn't been getting off. The only person that's been getting off as of late is Garrett Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Here's your stat here right here, Earl. This year, so 77 yards in the pass game. He threw 110 in the Packers game, which they actually won, but that was defense. 121 in the Denver game, 154 against Buffalo, which they actually won. But again,
so you're saying don't pick him in fantasy. That's what you're saying.
Right.
He put up 355 against the Pats the first time.
That was his best game.
Outlier. It's an outlier.
Best game.
In fantasy football.
Bet the parlay that the props that he's getting
right
under.
Bet the under. Yeah.
In fantasy football, he's under people that don't even start.
Right.
So here's a stat line for another quarterback. For another quarterback that has actually one less loss than I believe that.
Don't give us no name, just give us the stat.
All right, so we got 191, 149, 201, 211, and 279.
That Justin Fields?
That's Taylor Heineke.
Oh. You know what? You just answered my question about I was going to ask you later. I was going to ask you think he get 300 yards, but I'm going to put that question back.
Oh my God!
Man. Oh, it's a very interesting parlay on him today, but it consists of him getting 300 yards. But that ain't going to happen.
No, bro.
That is funny,
hilarious, man.
But see, the only reason I say that's different, Shawn. He's a culture changer for y'all.
Yeah, he is.
Because the players believe in him.
That was the point.
The players don't believe in Zach Wilson.
That's the point.
So yeah, we're talking to stat. That's a great segue in because straight up, that's a totally different. Even though, like you said, you gave the winning record with Zach Wilson,
right?
They're winning in spite of. They don't like him.
Not at all.
The other side, as far as the Commanders, no, they're winning because of Heineke. He changes the culture of that team.
Right.
Now,
you weren't a scary team at all.
Now give us Carson Wentz numbers. You just gave us Heineke. Give us Carson Wentz numbers.
I'm gonna give you Carson's numbers itself.
It's under 200.
It
was really under 200. I remember because I was betting on him. It's under 200. Say that he was barely giving the 200.
So under 2.
This is Carson's numbers. 337, 211, 170, 359, 99 in that Chicago Bears game. And that's not even including the first game of the season when he threw for 313 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So stat wise,
2 games that was actually under 200 there, Earl.
Yeah, he had. Yeah,
those are the games I was betting on because he ain't get me. I remember that 99 one.
Yeah. And so in 6 games, he is 2-4.
And you
does
know,
it show interceptions
higher numbers than Heineke, but it just shows you the difference in what the team believes.
Yeah, you're talking about 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions for Carson.
But you know another reason too why I know is because for Pittman, right? And Pittman is not a bad wide receiver at all. This man wasn't getting no targets, bro.
Ain't Pittman on the Colts?
He's talking about when he was there.
When he was there.
I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, we're talking 2 different teams here.
Yeah, when he was there.
So it's one of those, and the reason I bet stats versus eye test. Sometimes, man, you cannot, big word on the way, quantify the.
Ain't that big.
Yeah, I was waiting for you, Earl. But you literally, man, it's not all the ways by stats. And this is something, say what you want about him. What Jim Irsay was trying to say when he brought in Jeff Saturday, even though how you agree with it or not, a lot of coaches and whatnot, they depend on all of the analytics, and the eye test is what they be missing.
Not what they be missing.
Be missing, yes.
That.
It were people who argue you under a bus.
The ICDC, but still.
When you look at like the situation in Washington, why Taylor is not your typical. He's not the franchise quarterback. Let's call it what it is. People, well, he's not. But he's a guy again that those players want to play for.
Right.
2, and most importantly, he actually knows that offense. He's been there 6 years. Carson just got there.
And he buys you time to get to whoever you need to get to.
Exactly.
Did we not see this before, though? Tebow. Yeah. I mean, no matter what you want to say about him, he won. And those players played around him. I mean, whatever he was saying in the locker room, whatever he was doing. So
what do you guys take about is another player out there, a little bit better stats, but he's actually had a lot more success. But I don't know if the organization doesn't like him because the players seem like they do. Jimmy G.
I don't know.
It's a very weird situation.
See what I'm saying? Like, is it the you know what I'm saying? Like,
Jimmy, I mean, to be honest with you, San Fran is probably the best team in the NFC West.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Seattle can take that how they want to take it, but at the end of the day, San Fran's going to beat Seattle.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, San Fran, I mean, Jimmy G shouldn't even be on that team right now. Right. He's on that team because of the fact that he had off-season surgery. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
He don't have that off-season surgery, and he would have been traded in the off-season.
No, it's true.
Yep. And then Trey Lance gets hurt.
Yeah. And then So I mean, San Francisco right now should be where Arizona's at in that division. They should be a bottom feeder. They should be probably at the bottom because they shouldn't even have Jimmy G right now as their back. It should be what the other dude named like CJ Veteran, whatever that third string guy is. They got that should be the guy that should be playing right now, quarterback. And I mean, they just as an organization, they just lucked into it. The players. I don't think the players really wanted to see Jimmy gone, but the organization really lucked up by Jimmy staying.
True.
Now Jimmy gone after this year.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Shit.
Yeah, because they did renegotiate that contract.
Yeah, I'm about to say he ain't gonna do no makeshift contract again.
Yeah, he ain't walking back in that door for $6 million again this year.
Nah.
Jimmy gone. Somebody's gonna throw Jimmy some money. If nobody else, maybe even the Jets, but somebody's throwing Jimmy some money in the offseason.
I can see it, and they just need somebody who plays, especially a Jets team that they just need competent quarterback play.
Minus any injuries that would cause for Jimmy to have off-season surgery.
True, very true. So it's sometimes it is that eye test what that particular player brings to the team that they all kind of just like, build around. And that's the big thing. Like, build a team around the players, their strengths, and understand their weaknesses at the end of the day. Because you got a lot of teams that are built and then they don't understand that case in point. You have what's his name? Miami. Yeah. Miami.
You got Philly. They finally put the trust behind Hurts.
They built around him.
Let's go for it. Yep.
Yeah, and they say he has some faults he has in there, but they have built the team.
Are we giving the teams too much credit though? Can we really say the teams built their teams around Hurts and around Tua more so as the teams went out, got players put in positions in case them guys didn't succeed, so they could move them out to bring in somebody next year to make it happen? Like, I mean, Miami's still kind of set up, huh?
I think specifically for Philly, they started building around Hurts and giving him weapons because he was because they made that choice between him and the coach at the end of that season the other year when he took him out and they were winning the game, and then they lost that game. I remember that because that kept the Giants out the playoffs. And next thing you know, the coach was gone, and then they started building like, okay, let's just see if this thing is going to be right, or else we need to get him out of here. Tua, I do believe they went all in on Tua.
See,
I think they just said, let's just throw all these weapons around him and let's see.
I get that, but my thought process, I'm not thinking that they did that to sit there and say, we believe in you so much that we're giving you this because we know that you're going to succeed more so as we're going to bring these people in here. And if you can't do it with
see
them,
if you're right,
then we know we can get somebody from the outside and the team's already going to be set, that we just got to throw somebody into that
case,
spot.
In Tua's case, I believe exactly what you just said, Eric. In Tua's case, it was like, hey, look, everybody can succeed with Tyreek Hill and a Waddle just running, almost a self-four.
Just throw the ball. Just don't get killed. Just don't get killed.
If you can't win with the Jamaican 4x1 team, then you just don't need to do it.
So I do agree with you there. It was a last hope on that sense. But I do think they literally did build around Hurts on the Philly side of things.
To Eric's point with like down in Miami, because this, depending on how they end, now this is the part is going to be interesting, because now they got to pull that trigger potentially or decide if they're going to give them that. If they give them that contract down, they locked in, then you kind of screwed. But to your point, Eric, that should be, you would think, the template for a lot of teams to be successful. You got a guy, you don't know about him or you don't think he's going. So let's build everything else in place so it'll at least make our team appealing when it comes down to free agency. Like, look, hey, we got everything down here. Come here. Compared to when the other way around, where you just try to throw somebody in a spot and then there's no pieces around them at all.
Hey, that's how the 49ers are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
If Garoppolo's gone, like Eric was saying, and let's say Trey Lance gets thrown in there and he ain't looking good. All right, who's next? Let's go because they got the people.
Yeah,
all the way around. So
to a lesser extent, and they tried it, but they did it backwards, and it was something I was hoping that they did. Washington did that, but they did it in a weird way. They brung in a quarterback that everybody and their mama know that was not it.
How did they found a way to incorporate them into this conversation? They relate to this conversation no way, shape, form, or how.
Okay,
there is nothing built in that place to put anybody to be attracted to come there and play for that team. How did you even make that? How did you translate into this? Like, I don't even see where the transition came at to bring them into this conversation.
Because if you take the money that they played from out,
he talked to you like you was
he's always that guy. He's that guy that he always the guy to make you
sitting there saying that, like, all of a sudden, like, the Ravens have made it so appealing that Aaron Rodgers would want to come to us because our receiving core is that dope. Are you kidding me? First of
all, I'm not making that suggestion at all, because damn sure that no quarterback wants to come to Baltimore because y'all don't have any receivers.
No receivers want to come to Baltimore.
Yeah, right. Because of how they run it. That's a whole nother thing in there. The reason I said that was, if you look at the way the team is playing now around a Taylor Heineke now, and they're playing to his strengths in this case, but they also at the same time they do have some quality receivers, a defensive line portion that is pretty decent. The secondary is but that money that they could have spent on resources on the back end instead of giving it to a quarterback that everybody mama knew that was not it, they fumbled that. It's kind of like we put a piece here, but it doesn't match up. Nothing makes sense. It's like Friday. You always got what? You got Kool-Aid, no sugar, ham, no burger. It's one of those type of situations.
I'm still lost in this whole thing. I'm still not understanding how you are trying to make this
the thing on your side, if you are going to the Washington side of things, that is the real kicker, is the fact that it's not like you didn't see this man in your division. How bad he was.
That was the point. I'm like, how do you got some pieces?
I don't even know how that is strictly y'all's fault. As far as
Shawn's trying to take a square peg and put it into a round hole.
Hey, look.
That was strictly y'all's fault. Hey, everybody in the NFC East was like, okay. Welcome back, Lance.
Very true. Very true, man. So you think you guys tapping in for the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk and Bet?
Yes, Malik. Exactly. That's my whole point, Malik. Yes,
I got
that was my point. That was kind of like what Shawn was trying to do with bringing Washington into this conversation. Yes, that's the equivalent. Now that's relatable. That's the equivalent to what we're talking about.
I guess I'm about to change the logo to like Football Talk and Bets at the bottom. I work on that for next week. So of course, man, let's get right into it. Man, something we all look forward to is our picks for football. We have anything before we go into our pick segment? Anybody? No.
Nah, I think shit. The way Eric.
Oh, wait. There is one thing. So
what you got?
I meant to throw it to you topic wise.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson, man.
I didn't know if we was gonna do that this week or next week.
I mean, we can do it next week. We can save it. We can save it so we can get to the picks.
next week.
Yeah,
he's back in practice, but we'll save it for next week because it's gonna be interesting.
We'll put that little teaser out there.
Yeah, we talking about it definitely. What you say, Earl?
Now I was gonna say, what's my man? What's the quarterback over there right now?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, it's ain't kind of fucked up what they doing to this bench.
he knew the deal, bro.
How's that? How's it messed up what they doing to this man? He knew the situation going into the season.
People are still trying to chase Deshaun Watson's contract, and he hasn't even played. He
Not
knew
at
exactly what the deal
mean, but
they having backdoor meetings right now to try to find a way that they can write in the word and through the league rules that guarantee contracts aren't even going to be legal.
Right.
Because of the man who hasn't played the game yet.
It's got people that's been bringing their teams to the playoffs, hell, Super Bowls and shit, and they can't get his money. They argue with their teams. Like, yo, I can't get that Deshaun Watson contract that sit on the sideline for 2-3.
Right. Sit on the sideline, not even allowed in the stadium.
Oh yeah, true that.
Does it? I guess we look, real quick. Does he make a difference?
Massages.
Yeah. Does he make a difference when he comes back? Deshaun Watson. Does he make a difference for that team?
He makes a difference if he can get back to where he was.
For this season, no.
Okay,
no, not for this season.
That's what I mean by this season.
No. But he needs to play this season so he can get that wear and tear off.
Yeah, he's got to play to get to know his players, to get to know the system, to get that continuity going with these guys.
He can come out and look horrible. He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't got no problems.
Yeah. Gotcha. So his all about building continuity going forward for next year.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
The big word.
They're gonna be interesting next week. I've already seen some of the stuff with the fan base before. Man, oh man, the coverage about this
first game against Houston.
Ain't that something?
They playing that.
I'm taking Deshaun over 200 in that one next week.
Wow.
I'm taking him over 200.
Parlay, baby.
No, I'm taking him at 3.
His first game back over 2.
They're gonna have him out there on the snap count. I'll be pissed.
When I tell you he gonna get him the business, he gonna get him the business, y'all.
He might get 100 yards on the ground.
Word.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna jump into that one next week, man. That's gonna be fun. All right, man. So let's go right into our picks this week. Before we get in there and go, let's talk about, or let's put up this graphic of how we looked last week. It wasn't that. It wasn't.
A week.
Yeah, I don't know if I won the game last week.
What do you mean?
Damn, Earl.
So right now.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know I did that good.
I said 12-4. He did in there. 11-5 for me and Dave and Eric came 10. Everybody was above 500, man. Everybody was above 500. It was a good solid week. Well, any surprises last week?
Thanksgiving game must have saved me.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did pick the Giants in that one.
I had the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Bills. So that's probably the only thing that saved me for that week.
Yeah,
I picked all 3 of those. Yeah, you did.
If I'd have been 13-3, if I'd have picked with my heart, I mean my brain. Instead, I was picking with my heart.
Man, so let's go into this week, man, and see what we got. Y'all ready? Let's go. Broncos at the Panthers.
It's a struggle game.
Man, is it ever?
It's a struggle week, man. I'm looking at all the odds for these games. It's a struggle week. I could only pick 2 teams with good conscience that I could even bet on. I was like, this ain't worth it.
Do you believe in Baker or do you believe in Russ?
Baker not playing.
He's not.
I think playing?
It's PJ.
The other boy.
PJ, right?
PJ?
No, the other boy.
Donald?
Yeah, Donald.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They just switched it. They literally are switching quarterback every week. They're just going between them 3 quarterbacks.
That's the quarterback that the Jets should have kept.
I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah, I got the Broncos on this.
You're right. That probably is the quarterback the Jets should have kept.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Okay. That being said, I'm going with the Panthers.
Okay, that logic. Yeah, Broncos, man.
No, I'm going with the Broncos.
Yo, Broncos lose this game. They still can't get rid of Russ, especially if he has a bad. Man, this has to be a sucky situation.
Broncos.
This is horrible, man.
Malik
got rid of Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, they did. They did. And nobody picked him up either. He cleared waivers, I thought.
Yeah, he ain't getting picked up this year.
Yeah, that's wow.
He might be done.
I would have thought Tampa Bay would have tried to grab him or something.
Yeah, his career might be done.
It could be. It could be.
Malik.
Malik in it?
Keep it moving.
Yeah, let's go.
Buccaneers at Browns. Sean Watson ain't back this week. I got the Bucks.
I got the Bucks.
Yep, Bucks.
This one of them trap games, but I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Nah, go with the
You
Browns.
call the trap game and then decide you gonna go with the trap.
I should have bet with my heart.
As of right now, the Buccaneers are the 4th seed in the NFC, which means they hosting a playoff game. They get back healthy, they're gonna be interesting in the playoffs, bro. Yikes.
What you got, Gary? All right.
Since pick. Ravens at Jaguars.
And I feel like what's the name was going to play a hell of a game today because this is his last game.
Who?
Jacoby.
Oh.
Oh.
I was like,
Right?
I was like Lamar.
Yeah, you got the Browns.
What?
Like, you know something I don't know?
Right? Hold on, you telling me that Miami already signed the man in the middle of the season?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was about to be mad because I already got a ticket in.
I'll say, well, goddamn, I guess we are looking at two of them. Shit. Let's just trade.
All right, I know who Eric has. I got the Ravens also.
Eric got the Jaguars.
Is it disrespectful to say this man gonna throw for 325 on us? I need a consistency.
Oh,
Sunshine.
Is that not disrespectful to say he gonna throw for 325 on us?
He ain't throwing a 300 game yet.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
I
got Ravens, man.
Everybody Ravens?
Yeah. I don't think he threw a 300 game yet, bro.
All right. Remember last time Earl threw out a stat.
This 325 though in all these leagues.
Gary, who you got?
Gary gonna take the Jaguars. Keep moving.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Disrespectful.
Texans at Dolphins. Dolphins.
I got Dolphins.
You know what? Gary, don't say that. Pick what you really want to say. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to butter it up. Say what you really want to say.
I got the Dolphins.
Eric?
The Dolphins.
And the Bears at Jets. This is a defense. This is all defense.
I got Jets because I don't think what's
I was about to say, is he playing?
I don't think he's playing.
They haven't said yet. It's still day to day, so they haven't announced whether.
I was still gonna go with the Jets regardless because they about to come out here on fire.
Yeah,
they hot.
This was like one of the only games I felt confident in actually picking the team, saying that the Jets would win.
Yeah.
You talking about a team that ain't got nothing but a quarterback? Thanks, gosh almighty.
Who the Bears backup?
That's a good question.
I have no idea.
Oh, is it for you or is he hurt?
Oh, Nick, is he still there?
Yeah, I thought so, right?
I don't know.
Oh, Nick Foles? I don't know.
I don't know if he's still there or not.
I was going.
Yeah, wait, where's Oh no, he's not there.
It's interesting about the Chicago this Chicago team. They ranked 13th in offense compared to the Jets are 29th in offense. But defense ranked 6th in New York. Defense for Chicago 25th, and the Bears have the number 1 rush offense in the entire league.
Oh no, Nick Foles is with the coach. Yo, why in the coach playing Nick Foles? Then what the hell?
I don't know. Let's see what we got. Bengals at Titans.
Shit. Titans defense ain't no slouch.
They ain't, but it's the quarterback is what they got to worry about.
Yeah, that's the problem. Man. I'm going with the Bengals.
I got Tennessee in this game.
And I don't think it's no Joe Mixon.
I'm going with the Titans.
I'm going with the Titans.
That's what's up. That's why I'm in first place, fellas. Keep it up.
Falcons at Commanders. It's a fucking scary game.
I got Commanders.
I got Washington, man.
Trying to think if anybody got shut down. Yeah, they shut down Kyle Pitts. I'm going to Washington.
Now, Kyle Pitts is injured. Yeah, I'm going Commanders.
I was gonna say he shut down.
Yeah, I thought you meant like shut down, like
he's on IR. Like he's supposed to be having surgery. He's done for the year.
No. Well, he wasn't really a factor anyway.
He wasn't, and they were winning. They were winning without him actually doing anything whatsoever, really.
But they got Cordell Patterson, their workhorse back. So
yeah, but even though Kyle Pitts wasn't doing anything, he still occupies attention.
Nah, true.
You know, and Cordell Patterson isn't even the one I'm worried about. I'm actually worried about Marcus Mariota. Washington is always bad against running quarterbacks. Dear Lord. We'll see. Chargers at Cardinals.
Damn, and it's a home game for the Falcons too.
No, Falcons on the road.
I see what you did there.
Nah, he don't get
it.
It's a home game.
I got it.
For the Falcons, okay?
He got the man.
That's just disrespectful.
It's a fact. Am I lying, Shawn?
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. I got a lot of my friends are coming up to that game. So like
everybody that plays in Largo, that's the home team, bro.
See, man. Chargers at Cardinals this week. I got Chargers, man. I got Chargers.
They got their wide receivers back. Chargers.
Yeah, I got Chargers. They look when they get them. They got both Mike Williams and what's the name back? Man, look.
I thought Mike Williams got hurt again.
He got hurt again.
Did he get hurt again?
His ankle. But he's questionable right now. But Keenan Allen was looking crazy, and Palmer was out here killing.
True story.
That's another team I like to bet on.
Yeah, I got Chargers though.
Eric, who you got?
Chargers.
Gary and Malik both got the Chargers.
I want to pick the Cardinals, Dave. Put all your faith in what's my man? What's my man from Texas?
I'll stay with the Chargers. All right, keep it going.
Raiders at Seahawks. Come on, Gino. I got Seattle, man.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
They playing at home. They're gonna be turned.
Man, but that every time I say I believe in Gino, that mother lover. I'm going with the Raiders.
But the last game
that's good. No. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Oh man.
Who they say? Barry on the Seahawks. All right.
Rams at Chiefs. Matt Stafford, I think he might be done for the season. Well, it don't really matter. He might be done for the season, man.
Let's say the Rams are done for the season.
Yeah, they done, man. That sucks because they ain't got nothing.
Chiefs,
nothing. Who's their backup in LA?
Didn't they shut down what you going to? Didn't they just shut down Cooper?
I mean, he was out for like 8 weeks. So
yeah, he's out anyway. Yeah.
I wouldn't come back and play in this.
Yeah, and now they're cap strong. They ain't got no picks. It's gonna be tough sledding for them for the next couple of years. Look like, man. I mean, I'm glad they got
their Super Bowl.
Sean McVay pretty much came out last week and gave it a concession speech.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow, that's
a spread that I'm not betting.
Right, for real.
But I'll take the Travis Kelce multi-touchdown game though.
These are grown men, bro. Still a football thing. Aaron Donald still plays on the other team. Bro.
20, you know how hard it is to beat a team, beat an NFL team by 23, son?
Well, Dallas did beat the shit out of Minnesota the other day, bro. They did beat them.
And the Rams,
look, all because of the Cowboys have been so bad. That's 3+ touchdowns. And I'm totally with the fact that Patrick Mahomes probably is gonna go out this bitch and throw for like 4 touchdowns. I get that one, but damn, son.
I hope so. Just saying, little birdie.
Saints at 49ers, man. 49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, I got the Niners.
Niners is just, it is different, bro. Like, they play different. Like, it's, I don't know. Even their interest when they come out to the field is dope. Led by Deebo Samuels. I'm like, yo, this shit's, I love to see it.
It's real black.
You said because we're black? Is that what you said?
No, I said it's real black. It's a black entrance.
It is. very, very much so. Very much so.
Jalen Ramsey is throwing the ball and catching it and on defense.
Aaron Donald running, stuff like that.
Sad thing is Cooper Kupp, I think it probably has the second most touchdowns on the team throwing the ball behind Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't playing.
Got 49ers as well. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Packers at Eagles. I got the Packers, bro, in this game.
I got the Eagles.
I got the Eagles.
Yep, Philly.
Philly better win this game. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Is it a safe bet on the player prop to put Aaron Rodgers down for 1+ interception?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Woo.
Wrong Aaron though in this game, I think. Monday night game, Steelers at Colts. Another struggle game. Jeff Saturday gets his second win. I got the Colts winning.
Colts with at least 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Colts.
See, he's saying the same.
I'm hedging your bet.
He's saying the same bull that Gary's saying. You know what I'm saying? Picking against your team and then sitting there saying, I'll be cool, with the upset. Obviously, we know you'd be cool with the upset. But, I mean, why you even got to throw that on the end of it? If you're going to pick against your team, you ain't got to give us a reason on why you chose to go pick against your team. Pick against them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear your excuses, about, this other team. But if my team wins, I'm happy about that. Man.
Salvation Army, what?
You don't.
Tell him. I dropped that change in the bucket, damn it.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's how he be talking to people, man.
Oh.
You gonna give 75 cents? You could have just gave $1, bro.
You can't get that bill that you went.
Right? Don't come up to my kettle with $1 and say change.
Oh my God.
Telling me this man ain't telling you that? Ringing the bell at the same time.
You don't change out this bucket, man.
Eric is Larry David. He's the black Larry David.
Oh man, hilarious. And our week 13 Thursday night football pick. Bills at Patriots.
I guess the Bills.
I got the Pats.
You just not trying to win.
I'm going with the Bills. I don't see the Patriots deciding to run the ball every game except for and have 2 passing attempts this time. I don't think that's going to work with them.
He can't do that every game.
Yeah, I don't see that working the second time around. That was a one-trick pony.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Well, there you have it.
I ain't got nothing.
There you have it. You heard it. You saw that, Eric?
I don't think any owner has ever come out and publicly gone against their team.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, Malik, I'm missing some picks from him.
I think a couple of them he didn't put out.
Yeah.
We send all your picks to him. Send all your picks to me. And that's how week 12 going into week 13 picks, man. Should be an interesting day. It got some weather in a few places. I know around Washington and Baltimore.
Rain?
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like a weird rain. Baltimore's on the road, so they're down in Jacksonville. But I know Washington is gonna be like ugh today. It's like that cold, misty rain. It just makes stuff just irritating.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one of those weird things. But I mean, we'll see who's gonna, any movers today. I mean, any game y'all think is gonna be like a really good game. I guess anything that stands out.
I think that Bengals Titans is gonna be good.
I feel like I'm gonna be let down on that one.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really see. I mean,
well, if so and so stole for over 325, that Jags Ravens is gonna be good.
Look, man. This mother lover comes out and throws over 320. I'm gonna be pissed because I ain't gonna take that bet, but I'm gonna be pissed if that mother lover comes and throws for 325.
I'll say this: that Monday night Packers Eagles game is gonna have some really good bets on that. I believe. Just some stuff I was looking at. So,
hey man, jump on FanDuel, buddy. You ain't gotta wait for DraftKings.
Oh, I got it right. Got it right.
You putting yourself behind. Speaking of which, come on, Earl. We need to have a powwow, Earl. Let's get the ball joint.
Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Let's all do that while we.
Right.
While
Meet me on. As soon as we get off here, meet me on the box, yo. Meet me on the box. We got some slips to put in.
Fair enough, man. So for myself, Eric, Earl, Dave, man, this is the Hot Tea Podcast presents Football Talk. Enjoy your Sunday, man. Enjoy your holiday or whatever you do. And if you're still eating Thanksgiving food, this is your last day. You shouldn't be eating it by tomorrow.
After today.
I'm just saying, after today, put it away.
Yeah,
might get salmonella. Yeah.
I got one more plate left.
Yeah.
It's going
That's it.
down.
It's the hot seat.